I always think that ideas of Donald Duck joining the army is a terrible idea. Can you imagine Donald Duck getting increasingly agitated carrying a gun? It's a recipe for disaster, but it's also a recipe for a very entertaining cartoon. And that's what we get with the old army game. This was released in 1943. Around the 40s, Disney was understandably putting out a lot of World War II propaganda. This one is not necessarily propaganda in any direct sense, but of course it plants the thought of joining the army in some people's heads. Would it make you want to join the army? Well, I'm not so sure. If Pete was your sergeant, very unlikely. This is directed by Jack King. We have Clarence Nash as the voice of Donald, and Billy Bletcher voicing Sergeant Pete. And in this one, Donald Duck has gone AWOL, and obviously Sergeant Pete is not very happy about this. So once Donald Duck does resurface, Sergeant Pete has some stern words for him. And things for Donald don't necessarily go straight forward, and he gets into a bit of trouble, and he begins to wind Pete up, and it takes a very interesting turn. I quite enjoyed it. To be honest, I feel like it's one of the weakest of the Donald joins the army shorts. There are quite a few of them. There's another one with Pete, which, for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's the one that involves the invisibility paint. And that's one of my favourites. I thought that was very funny, brilliant narrative, fantastic idea, very creative. This one's a little bit more typical. It's not completely predictable, but the actions that unfold are not that unique, they're not that creative. There's nothing wrong with it. If I had seen this one first, and this was the first Donald joins the army short that I'd ever seen, I would have found it to be quite delightful and a lot of fun. I still enjoyed it, but compared to very similar shorts that were released at this time by Disney and involving Donald Duck, I feel like it's a bit of a weak link. It feels a bit rushed and underdeveloped, and the animation style is nice. It's well I was trying to say edited and animated at the same time. It's well edited and well animated, but it's not that exciting to look at. The colour scheme is pretty dull, by which I mean we have very muted colours, very kind of dark blues and beiges, and not really anything too exciting to look at. Donald's uniform is interesting. He looks quite cute. It's an interesting short. It's a fun short. If you like Donald Duck, definitely check it out. I think you will enjoy it. But if you have seen some of the other Donald Army shorts, but not this one, I will say just don't expect something as high caliber, because it's not quite as brilliant. But the old Army game, in isolation, is still a pretty decent short.